Do you think Kenya has a president? Kenya is an autopilot. When you hear and you feel, you go to the kitchen, you go to the supermarket, you board a matatu, you go to school, you go to hospital, do you have a president? When floods come to the country, whom shall I send? Fred Ogola. When corruption is killing this country, whom shall I send? Fred Ogola. When education system is crumbling, when we have healthcare that cannot function, when we have youth unemployment that they cannot even talk about, whom shall I send? Send me, Lord. Here I am. And that's why I'm saying president out of office. If ODM was clear on leadership, Oburu Odinga could have not become the party leader. He could have just remained the senator, or he would have resigned from being a senator to become a party leader. How many jobs does he have? He's a party SD, isn't it? He's a senator of Nairobi, isn't it? He's a committee member in Senate. And then young people who are sleeping hungry, who have no food, are cheering them. Season the Sifuna. When is Sifuna going to account as Sifuna?
Professor Ogola,
yes.
Why do you respect yourself with the president out of office?
Because there's no president in Kenya. There's nothing they're doing. They can't even just educate a small child how to be a family member. You know, if you hear how they talk, the character, everything they said, there's no president in Kenya. Do you think Kenya has a president? Kenya is an autopilot. When you hear and you feel, you go to the kitchen, you go to the supermarket, you board a matatu, you go to school, you go to hospital, do you have a president? Is the only difference between me and the one in office is that I'm out of office. Because if I'm doing nothing, he's equally doing nothing out of office. So that's why we're saying it's like there's no president. It's like we say that we have a sheep without a shepherd. Kenya is on autopilot. When floods come, do you feel you have a president? And I will refer you to the book of Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 6, verse 4. We hear the Lord says, whom shall I send? And then he say, who will go for us? Then me, I've responded, here I am, Lord, send me. Here I am, Lord, send me, because we have sent this guy everywhere. He's gone to the US. He's gone to China. He's gone to India. He's gone everywhere. What has he brought? When I was growing up, we were born 11 kids. We used to live here in Katrakera. So we would live on 1,500 shillings a day. And that was not enough to keep us. So my father used to earn that money, but we used to borrow things. So my mother could tell me, go to Mogaka's shop and borrow salt. I used to go and bring back salt to my mother, and that's why we ate. My mother could send my brother or my sister to go and buy sugar. Somebody could be sent to go and borrow sukuma. Some could be sent to go and borrow mena. But they brought back omena. They brought back sukuma. They brought back salt. They brought back sugar. This one we call the president. He goes to China. What did he bring? Do you know? He went to India. What did he bring? He went to the US. What did he bring? If he brought anything, show me. So, send me, Lord, means that you can send somebody and can bring something back. It's not a messenger you can send, even with a message. Some of them, when they want to run for president, they go to Washington, D.C. When they land at the airport, they're just discussing about a funeral in Machakos. Isn't it? One of them went to Washington, D.C. and started discussing about Vitima. You know, that in Washington, D.C., the global capital of the world. One of them went to Washington and started discussing about Kenyans' problems in the global arena. So look here. These people have no vision. They're just people who are trying to tell the Kenyans they want an office. They have no vision. Because let me tell you what, my brother. The Kenyan problem is economic. And when we began, we talked about the first liberation, which was about sending Wazungu outside our country. Then the second liberation was political freedom, which we enjoy. But the third liberation is economic. Now, if you want to solve the Kenyan problem, which is economic, do you go to Washington, D.C., or you go to New York? Because New York is the global capital of the world, economics and finance. There's World Trade Center in New York. When you go to Washington, D.C., Washington, D.C. is a small town. It's like a small town hived out of Virginia and Maryland. So there's nothing. They go there. I'm going to attend a prayer meeting. So what I'm trying to say is that, why am I saying president out of office? Because I believe there's something an offer, but also it's a calling. God says, whom shall I send? And I'm saying, when floods come to the country, whom shall I send? Fred Ogola. When corruption is killing this country, whom shall I send? Fred Ogola. When education system is crumbling, when we have healthcare that cannot function, when we have youth unemployment that they cannot even talk about, whom shall I send? Send me, Lord. Here I am. And that's why I'm saying president out of office.
Prof, I know it looks like your issues with the president are actually personal. Let's go back to, people in Kenya know you as perhaps the most learned fellow in this country. 24 certificates, including 1 PhD.
Yes.
That is great.
Yeah.
But what happened at Strathmore University? You believe that the president actually engineered your ouster from the university? And why do you believe so?
First of all, if I may ask, you said it yourself and the records are there. I have 24 certificates.
Yes.
I have formulated 1,961 strategic plan. You hear me?
Yes.
I've written over 17 books. I've written over 320 articles in business dailies, the dailies here. I've published over 210 peer-reviewed journal articles, isn't it?
Yes.
I have trained more than 1 million executives. Even some people working in these countries, I've trained more than 37 CEOs. I can mention Joshua Regara was my student. Paul Russo of KCB was my student. Robert Kibara of Housing Finance was my student. I taught James Mwangi. I taught Lesi Yampe. I even gave him scholarship. I even gave Josephat Nanok scholarship to go and study in Spain. P.S. Omolo was my student. P.S. Omolo was my student, former governor of Turkana. Now, how can such a qualified person be jobless? It must take the highest authority in the land to stop him. Because if he doesn't know that I'm that qualified, then what intelligence does he receive? And if he knows, what is doing that information? So if the president hears you now saying that I'm the most qualified professor in Kenya and is jobless, what is he going to do about it? If he's not the one who made me not to have it. You answer me. I don't understand it. Because go to Strathmore. What did I do? If I did anything, let Strathmore present it. Strathmore received a call and was told to fire me. I stood with Raila Odinga because I believed in Raila Odinga. Most of these people are saying believe Raila Odinga. They don't believe in him.
But most people actually tend to think that you and ideological differences with
Ideological difference doesn't mean you don't believe in anybody. Do you have any difference with your wife ever? You do. But you live together. With your father, even my father believed that religion was everything. My father wanted all of us brothers to be priests and all our sisters to be sisters. That was the ideology. But we love him unto death and beyond. I loved Raila Odinga in life, in death, and now. But dear to me is Raila. Dearer is the truth. I lost my job because I stood against bottom-up economic model, isn't it? Tell me, these people make noise, what job they lost. To be a professor, to be an academic director, you know what academic director is? All lecturers are under the academic director. You are the one who appoints a lecturer, gives them a class, evaluate, fire, and hire when they don't perform. And you talk to students, you give academic strategy of the university. That was what I was doing. Can you lose such a job for someone you hate?
Absolutely no.
And let me ask you, these people who are saying they believe in Raila, what have they lost for him? When they're called state house, they go, isn't it? When they're called to read a statement in cases, they read. Then they said, I believe Raila Odinga. No, come on. They have left Raila Odinga naked. If they love Raila Odinga, they could have stayed in his party. Why do you, for you, look at the Bible scripture. What did Jesus say? Father, I pray that they remain one. That was Jesus' prayer. What was Raila praying on his deathbed? Did you think Raila prayed, let some people come lead a ground, some people come lead a Mwananchi? Raila must have prayed, Father, as you take my soul, I pray they remain one. With all your egos, remain one. I was...
in Raila's, one of his most acclaimed statements before he left us, he warned people not to commit the party without going through the right structures, I believe. Do you believe, what's your opinion? Do you think some people have gone against this warning by Raila Odinga?
All of them have gone against it. Nobody in those leadership positions, the two of them, loves Raila. If you love your father, you will believe in him. Jesus went to the cross because he loved his father. Are these people willing to carry the cross for Raila? No, they are not. And I want to tell you, as an economist, in God we trust, the rest must bring evidence. You understand me? When I go
come again?
In God we trust, the rest must bring the evidence. You understand me? I'm a Catholic to the core. I believe that our Mother Mary was virgin before giving birth to Jesus, and even after giving birth, remained virgin. I believe that 1,000,000%, isn't it? And I can't question it. But if a woman was to approach me and tell me I'm virgin, I'll tell her to go to laboratory for a checkup with the doctor. So they must bring evidence. You get me? Now, if you are telling me about these people who you tell me that, they are talking about Baba, listen, if you understand what distinguishes the two people fighting ODM, those are riding Tononoka and then those riding Kitengela. Did you hear what Orengo said? Orengo said, wale wa Mombasa warudishe pesa ya Ruto. Huku ndiyo maneno iko. It's about the money from Ruto. That is a fact you can analyze. Did you hear that statement? Did you hear it? Orengo said, those in Tononoka hawana watu. Hapa ndio kuna watu.
DJ.
Wale watu waregeshe pesa ya Ruto. Ikuje wapi? Kitengela. It's about the money.
No.
But how many times have you seen Orengo in State House flagging buses, flagging ambulances, taking photos and smiling? He was there receiving all people in government in Siaya, nuclear, which is the wrong thing to do. You understand? So what I'm trying to say here, my brother, is that if you look at these things without bias, as a scholar, we were trained to have what we call disinterested desire. Means that when you're doing anything, don't have your desire. Don't put your interest inside. Don't put your selfishness inside, then you can see clearly. That's why Jesus said, remove the law, remove the speck, then you can see clearly. These people are not seeing clearly. Because you're blaming Oburu Dinga, the person with the speck says Oburu is bad, isn't it? But Oburu blames them also. So who has the log and who has the speck? So either one person has the log and the speck, but the fact is that whether you have the speck or you have the log, you can see.
Well, before we proceed, let us make a few things clear here. One, you are a member of LDP.
I am the presidential aspirant for LDP. Yes.
Number two, so you are not a member of ODM.
I was a member of ODM, and members of ODM, I'm a life member. A life member, you pay for it and you become life member, just like they're kind of life members, but they're now in UDA, they are in Jubilee. Life member is life member.
So let me ask you, do you believe ODM is still intact as a party? And what is the future of ODM now that with these cracks between the leadership? One side seems to lean towards the party leader. The other side seems to lean towards the Secretary General, Edwin Sifuna.
You know, orange is a very delicate fruit. Orange is not like lemon. When you cut an orange and you don't consume it, it starts developing certain things. So this orange is rotten. And remember, people were following Raila. They were not following ODM. So if ODM was ideologically oriented, then ODM could be strong when Raila is not there. People were following Raila. They are not following ODM. Because when Raila left NDP and went to KANU, they followed him. True or false? After that, he joined this LDP that the president answered. Raila was the president husband for LDP. And I will tell you, Raila handed over this to us. So those who were saying Raila left them in ODM, for us, Raila gave us LDP, where hakuna kelele. So ODM was not having any strong ideological values which were being followed. It was Raila's values which were aligned to ODM that they were following. So when Raila passed away, they have lost. Just like when Jesus Christ died, the disciples were not following God. They were following Jesus. So when Jesus told them, become fishers of men, they abandoned the fishing of men and they went back to the sea. And Jesus came by the Sea of Galilee and said, have you caught anything? And they have caught nothing. When Raila will come back, even in the dream, and ask them, now that you're fighting, have you caught anything? They have caught nothing. Like now, they can't negotiate with Ruto on anything. They have nothing. I'm hearing the best position they can get is Speaker of National Assembly, where Moses Shankula has it with the 4 MPs. With them, with 100 MPs, they cannot even get it. You hear me, my brother? So to move from when you can negotiate for half of the government to a speaker, are you still intact? If for you, you live in Lavington, then one day you move to Kibra, are you still intact? So ODM is moving from the main house to servant quarters, and they're still thinking they're intact. They cannot be. And lastly, you see these people who are making noise around ODM now that they are good people. Can you give them their scorecard? Siaya just looks like an abandoned home, isn't it? Where Orengo is the governor. He has no performance record there, right? Sifuna was the SG of ODM, isn't it?
Still,
Or he's the SG of ODM.
as we record this,
He is
still is there.
For 13 years, Sifuna is one who issued ODM tickets because SG signs them, unless he was pretending, isn't it? How many leaders does Sifuna bring in ODM that can bring succession? Because leadership is not just about shouting on top of the roof, isn't it? Baba brought him, isn't it? So Baba brought him. He says, yeah, he was mentored by Baba. Whom has he mentored? In ODM. He has not mentored Baba because Baba was mentored by Baba, isn't it? Oburu Linga, he has not mentored. So I was running for MP of Ugenya, and I was taken to ODM by the treasurer for ODM called Timothy Bosire to Sifuna. Sifuna dismissed me that I should go back to school. I'm too young to lead. Now Sifuna is now fighting that young people should lead. On which side of the fence? And how much money have they collected from people to give tickets? Have you heard in broad day, like people saying, to get ODM ticket, you have to bribe, isn't it? So who was signing the ODM ticket? So you have to tell me the person signing the ODM ticket was not receiving the bribe. It is being received by somebody else. Again, as we speak, I will tell you. Do you know, as a member of ODM and someone who was close to Baba, I know that the Prado Sifuna drives even now are not his vehicles. Those are ODM vehicles given to him as SG and driver. So you are destroying ODM, and the vehicle you are riding on is bought by the very party. The driver of Sifuna is not paid by him, not even by his salary from the Senate. He's paid by ODM. So why is he crying? What has he lost? I'm just asking, what has Sifuna lost? You still have the car for the SG official, isn't it? The only thing he does not have is that he cannot go sit in the office, but he's enjoying everything that ODM gives him as SG without being SG.
But it is because he had a petition to the registrar of political parties in order to get a job.
But did you see what?
On 27th, they are having a meeting.
But you heard what the court said. Sifuna is brilliant, isn't it? Isn't it?
He's a lawyer.
Now I'm saying he's a brilliant lawyer, right? How would you file a petition in court that court just throws away because it is premature? With all these,
I'm actually wondering when Timothy Bosire took you to Sifuna, what were you going to do?
No, Sifuna is the SG. He was telling them, here is someone who is a leader. Timothy Bosire is my student. Now I'm going to add you another.
Oh,
understand me? I have taught people in this country. It's only people like you might not see my value, but I'm saying that I have done my part, my contribution. Tell me these guys you're seeing, whom have they taught? Whom have they made? Whom have they mentored? I've mentored 37 CEOs.
In this country.
I can count for you Jacqueline Kitulu, who is now a global CEO in healthcare. I taught in Strathmore. You want us to go further? I've taught the CEO of the country.
If we go to the academia, I believe nobody in this country can show you a thing.
But you see,
nobody has any.
But you see, let me tell you.
Grade over you.
So they were telling me I should go back to the university to teach, isn't it? Because they were scared of qualification.
They wanted to get you out of the political scene, probably.
But you see, when we began contesting for MP, when you are running for ODM ticket, you can spend over 120 million in the nomination process, isn't it? Why did they not tell me when I went to run for MP, you have to apply for life membership of the party? I made my intentions clear. You understand? Timothy took me to Burudinga, who really was very nice. Actually, he said, Fred, I see potential in you. If you have taught my treasurer, who is the most ethical person in ODM, because that's why ODM money is not getting lost, Timothy Bosire, that's why Baba took him. And I can take you back. Before Timothy Bosire became treasurer, ODM lost money. Omengo Magara stole money from ODM, isn't it? The Almaso Tieno, the same. It is Timothy Bosire, who is even outside Luo Nyanza, who protected Baba's property. So those people love Baba to the core without interest. You get me? But there are people who have enjoyed it without bearing anything. Tell me what has these people making noise here brought to ODM? So in short,
Prof, so what I'm looking at it is this could be actually a failure of, should we say, when we wrote the Constitution, we attempted to bring, and I believe we made provisions to regulate and guide the way political parties operate in Kenya.
Yeah.
You remember before the 2010 Constitution was promulgated, we had almost 1,000 political parties.
Yeah.
But it seems like this tendency of individual political parties is still on. ODM without is actually a very strong united party which will be able to withstand the shocks of individual leadership, because we felt probably their succession structures have been put at par. The last few months, culminating last week, we saw UDA conduct grassroots elections. And it appears like every time a party goes through that phase, issues happen. Do you believe that we have the right and proper checks and balances to ensure that political party succession can happen and we can get rid of these individual issues? Or do you believe we need to have extra legislative action?
You see, this question you're asking can be asked in this way also. Do you need to have good rules at home to be a good child, or you can be a good child without rules? So first, the rules can help a bad person to toe the line, isn't it? But a good person don't need rules. Have you traveled out of this country?
Of course I have.
Which country have you gone to?
All of East Africa.
So if you go to Tanzania, did you read the Constitution of Tanzania before you enter Tanzania to keep them? You are just a good person.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
So if you're a good person, you don't need rules. Rules are made for bad people. So I had these things, I want to amend the Constitution to increase allocation from 15 to 35. If you're a good person, just increase. Does your mother need to amend the Constitution to add ugali? So first of all, I'm just trying to say that we do not need good rules to have good behavior. isn't it?
Yes.
Actually, the best rules in the world have been made because of people, how they live their life. I'm a Catholic. Saints live a life of example that no one has seen. Then the church takes it and says, this is the way you should live your life. For example, how do we know how to be Christians? We follow Jesus Christ. So was there a constitution to make Jesus become a good person? Is when you can follow it? No. So I want to say yes and no. But let me answer your question in the way maybe that people can understand. We do not have political parties in Kenya. The only party which is a political party in Kenya is LDP. And I'll explain to you easily. The parties we have is what we call fraternities and sororities. These are just people using parties and individuals to get their end. But there are no structure to become a political party. Do you know, if you talk about UDA, you can associate UDA with the owner, isn't it? When you pick ODM, you can tell the owner. When you pick about Jubilee, you can know the owner. When you talk about DCP, you tell the owner. PLP, the owner, isn't it? Wiper, the owner. Who is the owner of LDP? Do you know?
Maybe we can be able to clear. Okay. LDP, now because you have brought back the issue of LDP. Now, when you become from ODM.
Just wait. You're missing the point. So LDP has no owner. It can be owned. That makes it a party. Because a party cannot be owned by individual. It's not like sole proprietorship. Most of these parties, the checkbook is under somebody's bed, isn't it? The party ticket's under somebody's bed. So either you have to find how to enter somebody's bed or sleep with that person in that bed, isn't it? To get the ticket or to get the check. That's it. So two ways. Now, LDP structured this way. We have the admin part of the party run by technocrats. Then we have the political arm of the party run by the political leader of the party, which is the presidential candidate, and now is Fred Ogola. Now, on matters administration of the party, I have nothing to do with it. You get me? The party can consult me, but I'm not the decision maker. But how to deal with the MCAs, MPs, senators, governor candidates, delegates in terms of political mobilization. Like yesterday, I was in Kisumu. We're opening up an office in Konambaya in Kisumu. Last week, I was in Homa Bay. We opened up an office in Mikai, isn't it? Migori 1 is cooking. The day we were supposed to go there, the bridge in Migori collapsed, so we were more consulting the people who have filed there. On Sunday, I'm flying to Mombasa, and we're going to open an office in Changamwe. You get me? So those political activities, I can be in charge. But the party administration is not mine. Now, because of that, you cannot say you own this party. Now, what it is, Liberal Democratic Party is even found in China, is even found in Asia, is even found in the UK, is even found in the US. The structure is the same. Who owns Democratic Party in the US? Do you know? If you want to become a candidate, you apply, isn't it? You are vetted, then you go through primaries and you get the ticket. But after that, you leave it. You become the party, the leader of the party at the election. When your term is running as President, Trump is the leader of the Republican Party. But when he will lose the election after he finishes his term, somebody else will be. Kamala Harris is one that is running, is the leader of Democratic Party. There's a time when it was Obama. And there was a time when it was I don't know who. You get me? It was the time it was Joe Biden. So Joe Biden come and go. So people should come and go, and the party should remain unshaken. Any party that is shaken when people come and go is not a party. KANU is not a party, isn't it? Now, ODM is in the chopping board. This one with this ego of these people, UDA, once the leader leaves office, it will be dead because it has no values. They have been lying left, right, and center. So as far as I'm concerned, if Fred Ogola is to exit LDP now, it will be LDP. Raila came and took LDP, but he was not the owner. He was the LDP presidential aspirant. It made him join the government, isn't it, with Charity Ngilu. When he left, LDP remained LDP. That's why the most beautiful party is LDP. The chairman is an engineer who has no interest in it. In fact, in LDP, if they're the main people like party leader, SG, executive director, whom we call CEO, chairman, wants to contest for election, they have to resign from that position and then contest. But ODM, you can be the SG, you can still be a senator, then they can send you to the, I don't know. If ODM was clear on leadership, Oburu Odinga could have not become the party leader. He could have just remained the senator, or he would have resigned from being a senator to become a party leader. The conflict of interest is too much. Now, is Oburu Odinga behaving like the senator for Siaya, or is a party leader? How much time does he spend in Siaya, even to know how much money is getting lost there? Sifuna as SG, his travels, his vehicles are powered by ODM. How much time does Sifuna have to think about Nairobi as a senator? So how can one person be having 10 jobs, then telling the young people, wait for me, I'll liberate you? One person. How many jobs does Sifuna have? He's a party SG, isn't it? He's a senator of Nairobi, isn't it? He's a committee member in Senate. And then young people who are sleeping hungry, who have no food, are cheering them, isn't it, Sifuna? When is Sifuna going to account as Sifuna? When the bank account is shaking, do you feel it? In fact, I can go back there. I'm just from Kisumu this morning when we were discussing about me coming here. Yes. I was in Kisumu. Then the guy, the boda who picked me, because I was somewhere in Ramba, boda who picked me, taking me to the airport. I'm sorry if you think that it's bad for boda to pick me. They pick me. They are safer than can you imagine. So I was going to the airport. The guy told me, hey, Bana, what do you think about this thing of us being in the government? I asked him, so you are in government? He told me, yes. Ask him, you. His name is called, his company is called George. George, as George, are you in the government? Which payroll? Which account? Bank account? Oh, by the way. Then I should separate the discussion of I in government and we in government. We means Ambadi, isn't it? We means Wandai. Okay. And those people are in government. Do you know even Baba is not in government? Because Baba said, who told you I am in government? We are in government. Because Baba knows he is not. The people in government are those yeses. Do you know how government looks like? The executive, judiciary, and legislature. But the executive here means that are you in the executive? So those people in the Siaya, those people in Homa Bay, those people in Migori, those Luos here saying they are in government. Which arm of government are they? You understand? And is there any community bank account whereby if a Luo becomes a CS, then money moves to Luo Nyanza and you can withdraw? Hata wewe uko na fuliza kwa simu yako.
That is a myth that has become very difficult to debunk. Dr. William Ruto, I remember one day he told me that we are still living in the DNA of the previous constitution, where we believed that for you to access government development projects, you have to be to toe the line of the presidency, and that seems to be the case. Right now, we are seeing the president is in Nyanza for the next 3-4 days.
That's why I left Kisumu. But back then, let me ask you, who is this man? Do you know this guy? Have you ever met him? Me, I've never met him. And that's why I'm saying I'm president out of office, because me, I don't know him. The last time I heard he was supposed to be at The Hague or something like abducting Gen Zs. Why should this guy be discussed anywhere? Anyway, you know, I don't talk about him. Why I don't talk about him? Because the more we talk about him, we shift focus from the real issue. Now,
he wants it that way.
Yeah?
He wants it that way.
No, but that was saying, I'm telling you, for me, I made a different choice. I'd rather spend time talking about Jesus. Because, let me tell you, my brother, which president can you remember in Africa? Mandela, isn't it? Maybe Julius Nyerere. What does Julius Nyerere leave? Ujamaa. Even if it's bad, he left something, right? Mandela left a country that was brought together that could have actually gone rainbow nation. Here, what is this man doing? He's shattering everything. In fact, when I was in Kisumu and someone told me, Fred, you are taking a plane, is it going to Singapore? Then I asked him, if you sit in a plane and are being told the pilot of this plane has brought down 10 planes before, are you going to sit on that plane? So, Shah is a plane he has brought down. Helm he has brought down, isn't it? Adani, down. Economy, down. Healthcare, down. Go and talk about Safaricom, is gone. Pipeline is gone. So are you still entering this plan? Are you out of your mind? You know, when I hear about our two-term, what the hell do you mean by two-term? In fact, let me tell you, soon, I can predict to you, you're going to see an uprising. You're going to see an uprising. Don't say I'm organized, but I'm telling you, soon.
Will you contend 10 cents are there like last year for one?
It's going to be worse. I'm telling you, mark my words, it won't take 2 months. It won't take 2 months before there's going to be a serious uprising. Remember, what do I wake up to do? My main thing to wake up to do is how must go, has to go, how he is going, and how he must go. In Jesus' name, he must go. And anything I'm doing is how must go can go. Don't even tell me about, I don't know, 2 term, 1 term. Those are narratives.
Let's look at the alternatives. What exactly is the LDP bringing on the table? What are the major problems?
That is the most beautiful question you can ask. First of all, LDP, you have something called the prototype. You don't know what a prototype is? A prototype is like a model.
It's actually a model.
It's a model.
Yes.
So if you look at this phone has a prototype. So when you want to print this phone, you just print it direct. So that's what makes LDP ready from day one, from the fact that it's a model, it's a prototype you can bring. So a prototype here is how can you be able to turn around this economy? And I've told you, we talk about the first liberation. The third liberation is what we are looking at. The third liberation is economic liberation, which is economy development as freedom. That's why I disagree with the fact that people say ati baba na mama. No. I believe that freedom means that citizens can get what they want, irrespective of who is in office, from which region it comes from. Regionalization of tribal, all these things should not be there. That's why I hate a tribalist. And I can tell you, when Baba called this man who is a tribalist, Gachagua, when he called him Gachetha, that was the last day with me. Because when Baba said Gachetha, that was the end between me and him. Elisha hapo. Yote Elisha kwa masalaba. Yote Elisha kwa masalaba. When he just said Gachetha, there's something Baba knows that we may not know. May his soul continue resting in peace. We pray for him. But those who are faithful to him now, had Sifuna saying he can work with Gachetha, then I think he does not understand what Baba meant. So truth be said, LDP is concerned about the economic liberation. So there are some things I can say quickly we will do when we get into office. We have prepared 12 executive orders. Because as a Catholic, as a Christian, we talk about the 12, isn't it?
Yes.
Jesus began only with the 12. But the Christianity has spread throughout the world. The 12 things, the first thing when you get to office, we are going to form what's called a modernizing government. Modernizing government means that putting a government that is fit for purpose. This government is too heavy, broad-based. We need a lean and clean government. Lean and clean. To do that, we are going to use technology. To ensure we have digital ledgers about how budget is done. You can see it, you can see it transparently. You can see which tenders are people putting, who got it, who didn't get it. We can allow you citizens to vote and say, I don't want this road, I don't want affordable housing, but I want you to put money in education, put money here. Because citizens must participate in the decision making, not be consulted. Here the consultants. You know,
that is how the Constitution is said.
But I'm saying,
by doing so, you will be bringing the vote.
we will do it.
Vote.
Yes. Let me tell you about corruption. The day I'll be sworn in as president, I'll not go to State House. State House will not be the place where I reside. First of all, they have done too many things in State House. They have put so many altars, I cannot stay there. But State House will become a museum so that people can go and see those evils they've been doing there since independence, from colonial time to now. You get me? Do you know how big State House is? It is 740 acres. You understand? Who on earth lives on 740 acres while some people here have squatters in Kibra? You get me? I could even sell part of State House and buy for people land and give it to live. These people are talking about reallocation. If the president can donate 500 acres, White House is 8 acres. You only need 8 acres, isn't it? Angela Merkel was the chancellor of Germany, was living in an apartment. Here, someone lives in State House and he can't think, he can't do anything. No matter how big State House is, if you are incompetent and corrupt, you can do nothing. I think in my small office better than somebody who is thinking in the 740 acres on land. This was a colonial thing that was there when there was luxury. Nairobi is highly congested. We can donate some land of State House to expand Nairobi. People are looking for it to construct schools, isn't it? Why don't you cut even and give 100 acres out of 750 for education? Nairobi Hospital is congested, isn't it? They can give it a chance to expand. Kenyatta is
I'm living in Nairobi Hospital right now, but that's a...
So I'm saying, I'm trying to say the 740 acres in prime land in State House, executive order number 1, let the president live in a residence that looks like how Kenyans live, because the Bible says the shepherd should smell the sheep, smell like the sheep, should look like the sheep, and the sheep should recognize him. When you see the president can recognize him, he does not look like you. He walks on red carpet. In fact, let me tell you, I will abolish all red carpets that costs us so much money. Like, the other day they are here, you set us about 10-point danger. Do you know how much money went on the red carpet laying? We lost 21 million shillings in red carpets. Abolish. I will also write an executive order to ask Parliament to start instituting how to abolish ESCC, because ESCC is the crime scene. Do you know why?
But it's a question of the Constitution.
No, but there are so many things which are rules in your house that you don't keep, because sometimes they can be dangerous. Let me just give you why it has to be closed.
So you believe ESCC has become sick when it was supposed to cure the disease?
Let me explain. Since ESCC was created in 2010, we have 15 years now. They drew 3.9 billion shillings per year on budget. If you do that math, because I'm an economist, the numbers are in my head, that is 58.5 billion. They have recovered only 28 billion using a budget of 58.5 billion. What a loss.
So it's a liability based.
It's a liability. And secondly, every thief in town is cleared by ESCC. So there's a washing machine. The washing machine. The president was cleared by ESCC.
So instead of abolishing it, probably we could create...
No, first, you are saying you want to be like Singapore, isn't it? Do you know the name or equivalent of Singapore ESCC? There's none. If you're a thief who has stolen a chicken, then you steal 1 billion, then 30 billion, you are arrested like any. Why are some?
I believe ESCC was created because the other arms also became ineffective.
It was created to be a smoke screen to make you think something is happening. Let me take you back. I'm a village boy. When I was
going back, we are going back to Sierra, but you can.
When I was growing up in my village, I used to go visit my grandmother, and there used to be so many mosquitoes along Zoya, River Zoya. So when we could complain about mosquitoes, I know these kids could not close their face blanket. My grandma will sprinkle some sand or some kind of ashes and tell me that he has already poured mosquito medicine. And tell us, how you sleep. It was psychological. But mosquito will bite you without mercy, even with those things. So this is where people are pretending, saying that there's nothing going on. The president chaired by ESCC, deputy president, all CSS, all PSS, all MPs, all senators, all MCAs, all governors. Where are we losing money?
So nobody gets done.
And the most painful one, I was a consultant with Kenya. And I know what happens. Do you know this road, they give tenders of quarter 1, quarter 2. Every quarter, all the commissioners of ESCC is given a tender of around 1 billion so that they cannot investigate procurement violations in Kenya. If you ask all people who do procurement, all engineers, they'll tell you. I've taught them. I've been done saving plan for Institute of Engineers of Kenya. They tell me You tender, you're being told, hiyo ni ya commissioner huyu, huwezi pata. Hii ni ile ya commissioner, huwezi pata. So that's why they can't investigate them. So these people are corrupt. Then lastly, why do you put a bishop to chair anti-corruption commission? Do we need prayers there?
That's actually, that seems to be a very...
And they put a bishop every time. Well, Bukala was there before this.
Bukala was there, now we have Oginde.
Yes, why are they putting bishops there? Bishops should go and pray for us when they retire. And if at all, bishops need to set up something that can be something to carry up the young pastors, the young bishops. Like I was talking to Bishop Cordia last night, and he told me something amazing. They told me, I want to retire in 2 years. I told him, why? He told me, I want to set up an institute that will fight for human rights. That guy has a vision. But how can you have a vision of being a bishop retired, then you become a chairman of ESCC, and no investigation is taking place, money Kenyans are losing? When you go to heaven, God will ask you, you are a bishop, I put you as chair of ESCC. What did you do? Which answer will he give? I'm sure those bishops will have a very hard time. Even if God was to give the best angel to interview them, they cannot pass the exam.
Let's go back to Siaya, where you come from.
Yes.
You just maybe.
But remember, we finished the one on LDP.
Wait. Are we done with LDP?
Lastly,
Not yet.
last year.
Let's finish with LDP.
So LDP has done a fantastic research and found out the Kenyan problem is economic. And the Kenyan economic problem is the following. One, we have very high interest rates. 27, 24%, isn't it?
Good.
Do you know in China, the interest rate is 4.9%? You get me? Actually 2.9%. The US is around 4.9. China is 2.9. Are you seeing how bad it is? That's why Chinese competitors, even they bring money from China, they beat us in the tender. Secondly, we have a very high unemployment rate among the youth, 60%. Thirdly, the Kenya shilling purchasing power is very low. Kenya shilling to $1 is 120, 129, 130, isn't it?
Yes.
Inflation is 8%. Government tells you 5.9, but I'm telling you it is 8 to 10%. Do you know how I know it? I train pension schemes. All the pension savings are wiped away because if inflation is 8, 10% and they're yielding 10 to 8%, there's no value. There's no historical value for these things. So we also have challenges of jobs. So when we come back to one silver bullet we have, LDP is promising 100 jobs in every county through agricultural large-scale production. So if every county gives us 50 acres of land, isn't it? And we employ 2 youths per acre, that's 100,000 youths per acre. They're earning 30,000 shillings per person. PAYE is 9,000 per person. So 9,000 times 100,000, isn't it? That's how much? That's 900. That's 900,000, isn't it? If you multiply this by a year, we are getting into 900 million, isn't it? And if you multiply that one by 12, you can actually end up getting around 7 billion shillings in revenue per county. That money is enough to offer free healthcare and education per county. You hear me? And then when you take away money that households could have used in paying for education and you give them back in their pocket, they can survive. Because I've done research that in Kenya, we have 12,500,000 households. Each household has an average of 4 children per household that goes to school. You get me? And each household spends an average of 68,000 per child per year. So if your household spends 68,000 times 4 and there's free education, the 68,000 times 4 can be business capital. It can be used for you to ease your challenges of labor, civil. So when you do that, you'll have cured youth unemployment, isn't it? You could have lowered the inflation because when there's a high supply and demand is the same, the inflation goes down, isn't it? When there's money circulating in the economy, the risks are lower in the economy, the interest rate goes down. When you're producing more to supply, even to export abroad, Kenya shillings gets into high demand, and when it's in high demand, immediately the Kenya shillings power goes up. You understand? So interest rate, solve. Currency power, solve. Inflation, solve. Youth unemployment, solve. What are you looking for? And free healthcare and education with one silver bullet. But affordable housing is the biggest joke. We will actually just take that thing and look for how to take it back to national housing project, isn't it? And stop the issue of house levy to ease the payslip, because the payslip for Kenya is the current president. Like now, they are lying, they're building houses. Who has received the house? They've just been created in affordable housing. Have you seen one? Do you know any relative of yours, your brother, or someone you play with, or in your WhatsApp group who got this job? How come these jobs are just circulating you and leaving you in the middle? So all this is a joke. We want an honest Kenya. We want to run a lean and clean government. And that's what we call the prototype. So Kenyans will choose between the plan, kupanga, kutenga, and the prototype, which is actual execution with no timeline of 100 days. Hatutakuwa na hii mambo ya 100 days. That is the scam of the century. Give me 100 days so that I do what? Have you ever, when you got married, did you tell your wife to give you 100 days to make her happy? Did you when you give birth to a child, can you tell them to give you 100 days?
No, you have to start right away.
It is on the spot.
Yes.
So I'm telling Kenyans, the presidency, which is out of office, or the President Fred Ogola, when he becomes president, thanks to you, if you give me a vote, you'll be choosing between competence and experience. What is competence? Competence is someone who can do something, isn't it? But you should between experience of corruption, experience of mismanagement, misleadership, experience of lies, isn't it? Experiences of incompetence. You should choose. You can be experienced, because some people, let me tell you, my brother, there are some people who are so competent to explain their incompetence until they are so competent to explain how incompetent they are. Have you ever met somebody tell you excuses why they can't do anything? And they are so good. You know, the current president is so good to explain why he can't do anything. And he doesn't know how to do anything. And people are happy. Like now the guy say, give me time and work. Give me a time and work. Work what? In my culture, we say you are as good as your last assignment. You know, you are a husband, isn't it?
Of course I am.
How you performed last night is what your wife remembers. Other things does not mean anything. So if you misperformed last night, we don't care.
Record.
That's your record. Even as a player.
Yes.
Like now we are waiting for Arsenal to play with Man City.
The finals.
The last assignment Man City has was
They lost.
They lost to to Real Madrid, isn't it? Our last assignment may be to what? Leverkusen.
Yes.
So who has a better assignment now? We are going to see on Sunday who leaves Wembley with their best assignment. And I can tell you, LDP is the party to watch. We are going to disrupt. You know, you do not, you are thinking it's a joke, eh? We have done research as LDP. We began preparing for election in 2025. We have done research and found that how do people become presidents in Kenya? You know, if you want to become president, you have to know how did these people become president? How did Kenyatta get it? Kenyatta was in the system of colonial powers. So the colonials handed it over to him, pretending Jaramogi is the one who said, Kenyatta tosha. Of course, Jaramogi was part of the system. So there's someone who shouted the system, Fred tosha. You are thinking it is him, but he's part of the system. So Kenyatta became president because of the system. The system handed over to Moi to become president through the system, right? Because Moi was not elected. The first time, 1978, that is, isn't it?
Yes. So
he wasn't elected. Then after that...
Really, Mafia never wanted him.
Yes, after that, Kibaki was given the system. He has been the system for all that time, right? Then Uhuru was in the system. He became president. Ruto was in the system, became president. After the system delivers you, whom do you work for? You work for the system. If you try to work against the system, you die. And that's why LDP want a Kenyan project a Kenyan-grown project, and I am a Kenyan-grown project. I have not asked for permission from the system to run, and I do not need one.
How are you?
So so just wait.
Yes.
So for that matter, we must disrupt, because there are three ways to become president. One, system. Two, a coup, which we tried in June 2024. But now we are thinking of something else. The last one is disruption. We have to disrupt the system. You saw how Samson with Delilah happened. Samson had a system. So when Delilah had showered the system, when he woke up to try to touch the poles, the system was gone and he was arrested. So that's why this must go. We wake up and find the system has left him, and he will discover that there's a new dispensation and go on.
Great. So what are your plans to fund your presidential campaign in LDP? You just explained earlier on how expensive it is to do political campaigns in this country, which I believe is something we need to look into, because it seems like it's become a high-stakes game.
If I may ask you, if you asked me this question when I was a young boy growing up in Kibra, I'm the sixth born of my family. My father was a catechist earning 1,500 a month, and we're 11. If you ask me, how do you intend to fund your education to become a professor of the magnitude you've said? Would I give you an answer?
No.
In my culture, in Luo, we live chaka chaka. Just start. They say a long journey begins with one step. Ask me, how does it take for a man like Fred Ogola, who has never been an MCA, he's never been elected to any position, you get me, never worked in government at all, how have I built this national brand that a party considers me as its presidential candidate? Is that a mean feat? Have I achieved something already?
Yeah.
So how much money did I have when I began? Literally nothing, isn't it? But now I know what you're saying. There's a time people like asking, what is your net worth? For example, how much money do you have in the bank? So what? Do you know that people look at this word capital very narrowly? I'm an economist. There's what we call human capital. There's what we call social capital. There's what we call intellectual capital. And there's what we call financial capital, isn't it? So let's talk about these three capitals.
Yes, sir.
So I was telling you that there are three types of capital: social capital, financial capital, and intellectual capital. So among these three capitals, I have two of them already, and I think that we, with the LDP team, will be better than the other people. Intellectual capital. Do you know, if they are intellectually gifted more than somebody, even if there are 1 million people doing the same exam, they will celebrate them. It does not matter the number. Now, will you compare me with Maslow, intellectual capital? Because Henry Mintzberg, who is the father of management, says that the intellect, the intelligence should be seen in what you produce with it. It should not be seen just by saying I have high IQ. And Jesus put it easier. You know a tree by the fruit. If you're an orange tree, it produces an orange. So which tree is Maslow? Isn't it? The tree is called Maslow. So he can only produce Maslow. So intellectually, that one we don't have to discuss, right? Socially, are people with him or are not with him? So these people, Kenya looks like a woman who had left the village of this man, isn't it? So Kenya is walking. Which man will sound more attractive to Kenyans, isn't it? So here we could say 0-0 neutral, or he is a little bit ahead, but nevertheless, there are more Kenyans who are not with him and they're available to me. And there's some Kenyans who are with him no matter what you do. Understand? But there are so many Kenyans out there who can, because that's capital. You get me? Social capital. And the other capital I'm talking about is financial. When you have social capital, can you miss financial capital? You can't. And lastly, with your intellectual capital, if my intellect cannot know how to mobilize resources to stage a serious battle against him, then again, I can't call myself professor of strategy. Do you know, strategy is beautiful. And I want to warn anybody underestimating me. You get me? Never joke with the professor of what? Strategy. I have a network, even in his own office, I have network. I have a network, I have a religious network. You get my point?
Yes.
And that's why I'm telling you, we are going to disrupt him with that network. And that disruption will also be financially rewarding. Then send him home, just like Samson, who was taken over, right? And sent home. Lucky for Samson, he had a comeback. I don't think he has one. There is no comeback, my brother. So I believe in God's providence. The God who brought a goat, a sheep to be slaughtered when Isaac was spared, that very God will provide. The God who brought me from Katwekera, a boy living in Katwekera, to own a house in Lavington, why should I doubt that God? If God brought you from Katwekera, where you're living in a one-room Mabati house, to own a house in Lavington, why do you doubt that God? A God of my catechist father who owned nothing and his son becomes a global professor. Why did you doubt that God? A God who made me go to New York and address the world leading economists and finance experts in World Trade Center and Wall Street. Are you still doubting that God? That God is taking me to Greenland to launch an economic solution for Greenland at Christ the King Church in June 15th. You get me? That same God is sending me to New York in October to launch something. I'm saying something because some of these things don't say too much. Launch something in New York in October this year. I was there last year in October. I'm going back again in October because they want to see me back. That God cannot be doubted. If Ruto says God took him to State House, the same God will remove him. And if God weighs between what he has done to his people, that God who took him there will remove him and replace him with somebody else. It happened before. God told David, your hands are with blood. Your hands have become dirty. I will not allow you to build my temple. My temple will be built by my son Solomon. Probably Ruto was David.
Yeah.
But God is saying his son Solomon, apart from concubines, which I won't have and I don't have, I must be the one to build Kenya to the new generation, to give the golden age of Africa and to bring Kenya to a new era of the third liberation, which is economic. An economy of plenty, where people will not be fighting of this community has been denied, this has been given. Did you see the 12 tribes of Israel fighting over Israel? No. Everybody had enough. And I'm seeing a country whereby there's so much that nobody can worry. And if you allow me just to add a little bit there, I was sitting in a plane when I was flying from Kisumu coming back, and somebody broke my heart who told me that Kenyans are becoming goons. Do you know that is a lie? Do you know there are no goons in Kenya? Yeah. Who are the goons? Are the politicians.
But they're Kenyans.
Let me tell you, these are young people who are unemployed, who have no income. They have no intention to beat anybody. They want bread. When they go to beat someone in rally, are they the ones achieving their goal or the achieving the goal, the one who is paying them? So who is the goon? The goon is the politician paying a youth to fight. Because this guy has no money. Go to Kenyatta Grounds in Kisumu. They are sitting there lying. They have no job. Go to Uhuru Gardens. Go to Uhuru Park. They have no job. So they're not goons, they're Kenyans. And let me ask you.
You are on record saying that Kenya does not have a constitutionalism problem.
Yeah.
That you believe that the people who break the law do it because they are hungry.
Yeah, because let me tell you, my brother, and you might find me very controversial. Do you know that it's allowed to steal enough to keep you alive in case you are dying? There's a St. Augustine who says, if you are dying, in fact, there are some countries, if you are dying, let's say you are almost dying of hunger, if you jump and grab half a loaf of bread and eat to stay alive, you should not even be jailed. Because you need you need a minimum amount of money to be alive, even to live life. You understand me? So I don't think that there are goons in Kenya. Na nikuulize, is there somebody whom, when the mother became pregnant, was conceived as a goon? What makes someone a goon? Why have you chosen not to be a goon? Because you have an opportunity. And I'm saying Kenyans need an opportunity. The only problem is that these politicians are impoverishing them and therefore give them only one opportunity to be a goon. Do you know, and I'm sorry to say, as an economist, do you know the life cycle of a butterfly? A larva, a pupa, a caterpillar, then a butterfly, isn't it? All these typical politicians do not want to be a butterfly. They hate butterflies. Do you think your MP wants you to be more successful than him? Do MPs normally pray that let everybody be poorer than me? You understand? They kneel down and tell God, God, let Kenyans remain stupid. Let them not be prosperous. They pray. And that's why we talk about liberation, economic liberation. Empower them so that they can be free, so that they can express themselves, so that they have no time to attend their rally. Have you ever seen a rally in Karen? Have you ever seen a political rally in Lavington, in Ikalesha? Where are the rallies? In Kamukunji grounds, in Jacaranda grounds, in Kibra, in Kawangware. Even the president leaves State House, 740 acres of plum and rind property to go to Kawangware, then somebody is killed and he's happy. You hear me? Kitengela, isn't it? So let's be honest, my brother. Do you think these people wish that Kenyans are too busy to attend a rally? And why are they keeping you as a goon? So this thing is by structure and by design. So want to break the circle. Do you know when you're in Canada, when I'm just playing, if you have never gone and play, one day you go, ask a Canadian, who is the prime minister? Some people don't know the prime minister. Because he's having enough, he has work, he has family, he has money, he can drink his coffee. Why should you know the prime minister? The poorer you are, the more you know about your leaders. Are you getting my point? Because in Kenya, there is something in economics we call time spent on poverty. Time spent on
Poverty.
If you wake up every day and you go to a rally, 8 hours listening to Matusi, yule nani, yule nini. After that, you go drink tea without sugar, or actually no tea at all. You spend 8 hours a day on time spent on poverty. When you have more time spent on poverty, how can you create wealth?
So you believe Kenyan poverty is by design?
It's by design. And it can end. And let me tell you, Raphael, when I was an economist, European Central Bank, during the global financial crisis, Greece was the worst hit in Europe. I was sent there, I went to Athens. There's a street called Omonia, like it's the main street like Uhuru Highway. Young people were injecting themselves with drugs and making love. Broad daylight, you could see them making love. So when you went there, we said, what's the problem? We fix it. Go to Omonia now. It's gone. And that was done in 3.5 months. These people don't want to give you a solution. Because we cannot be saying every day, Kenya is headed in the wrong direction. No, I've had this story for long. Have you heard that? Since I was born.
Since time immemorial.
Now, if we are headed in the wrong direction, maybe let's say you are very young, you are 20. If we started going the wrong direction 20 years ago, have we not arrived? So now the question is no longer where we are headed wrong. We have arrived. We
have arrived at the wrong.
We have arrived now in Shakahola. You hear me?
Wrong destination.
Yes, we have arrived in Misri, in Egypt. That's why I said let's go to Canaan. You hear me? You can't go from Canaan when you are in Canaan. You go to Canaan when you are in Egypt. So we have arrived. We have arrived where there is no healthcare in the country. It's a broken system. We have arrived where someone has shattered the education system in the country. Our sovereign wealth is gone, isn't it? Our national assets are being sold. You get me? Our kids cannot get jobs. University health is gone, isn't it? There's nothing to laugh about. We are in Shakahola. So the question should be asking, who and how do we get out of Shakahola? And the answer is, at least I know one answer. Can you come out of Shakahola with the person who took you there? And can you get out of Shakahola with the thinking that took you there? And can you get out of Shakahola with the tools that got you there? So the tools that got us here is the guy telling us one take us to Singapore. The pilot who landed us in Shakahola is the one telling us now he can take us to. And if it was the pilot, why did we land in Shakahola? We could have landed in Singapore. The guy has been a pilot, isn't it? He has been a pilot from youth for 92 days, isn't it? He became an engineer. He became a repair. He became a cabin crew. He graduated to a pilot. So he has been part of the system growing from stage to stage. All those who are saying they can fix Kenya, they have been there. Some of them have been there before I was born. They have been taking us to that wrong direction. Now we have arrived. Now they're telling us that we just change them from the people who have been there watching how we have been going to Shakahola. They are going to change the pilot. No, it can't be. And I'm telling Kenyans, please listen to me carefully. We shall talk about this in 2027. Should you not listen, that go back to Isaiah 6:4. Whom shall I send? Isn't it? And they say, where comes my help? Your help comes in the name of the Lord who created the heaven and earth. So before you vote, go ask God whether God is sending you to the pilot of Shakahola to take you to Singapore. Go ask God that the friends of the pilot of Shakahola now wants to take you to Canaan. You get me? It cannot be. It won't be. And that's why I said, must go. Once you are called must go, you must go. You have to go. And you are gone. And I pray in Jesus' name that he goes. Amen.
Professor, you have very deep religious roots in the Catholic Church. You have experience working with the medical institutions in the Catholic Church.
Yes.
Some people say your presence there was quite controversial.
Mine?
Your presence in leadership within the medical institutions in the Catholic Church was quite controversial.
Now, let me ask you, what is controversial? I don't deny the word controversial, isn't it? But I would say transformative. Because people see transformation as controversy. When Jesus came, was Jesus not
Or do
controversial?
you say you disrupted systems?
Yeah, I had to. For example, for around 17 years, I chaired the board of the Catholic Church, Archdiocese of Nairobi, where we have Mater Hospital, where you have St. Mary's, where I was almost born in Kibra, isn't it? St. Francis in Kasarani, St. Mathia Mulomba in Thika, Nazareth in Kiambu, you get me? And many other, there are 63. Now, do you like Mater Hospital?
Yes.
Do you like St. Mary's Hospital? The ones in St. Francis, we grew it from level 2 to level 5. You get me? Even now they have done Doctor's Plaza. You get me? I even work with Margaret Kenyatta, who launched for us a wing there. How controversy is it? Can you work with the bishops when you have controversy? Can a bishop, have you been appointed by a bishop, you? Those who say in controversy. And as we speak, the Catholic bishops appointed me as Deputy Vice Chancellor of Uzima University. You get me? So let me give you my Catholic background in a short sentence. I have been educated by the Jesuits. Jesuits are the best educators in the world because they have over 430 universities globally. Tell me it's bigger than American government. How many embassies does America have? If you have 436 universities, you are bigger than American government, isn't it? They educated me for 19 years. Those degrees you talk about, most of them come from them. So Jesuit educated. Second thing, Mill Hill model. I wanted to be a priest. I was modeled by Mill Hill missionaries for over 8 years. I went to Uganda. I became a Ugandan. I spoke the language. I came to Nairobi. I went to Maryland, London. I studied in Tangaza College. That's Mahel modeling. That's models people on values. That's why you saw me. My values are stronger than steel. I don't negotiate my values. I do not. I don't trade them. I don't negotiate. They remain who I am. You get me? And I can tell you, they have brought me where I am. So I can't disappoint them. The second thing is that I was trained by the Opus Dei in work, because I worked in Strathmore for 12 years as a lecturer, as a senior lecturer. I became an academic director. I became institute director. Opus Dei says, be holy through your work. That's what Jose Maria Escriva came out saying, that don't preach to us that you're good. Let your work be holy. If you're working with me, let me see God in you. Like now in this media house at Kurunzi News, if the person holding the camera makes you see Jesus, makes you see heaven, is better than if they preach and says, let us believe Bwana Sifiwe. No. Bwana Sifiwe is how she holds the camera with love, and how you handle your colleagues when you're home. Does your wife see Jesus in you? Or they say demon? So that's a push day for you. That's the whole taking. Then as St. Francis inspired, St. Francis loved the nature. Like now, if you look at our prototype called the Evolve, Evolve is a 6-letter word. The last word is called environmental stewardship, means love of the environment and nature. Love of animals, love of the nature. Because St. Francis said we should live in peace with the animals and nature. And that's why Pope Francis came to Kenya. He went to UNEP. He planted a tree there because he believes in nature. So it is not something I talk, it's something I live. If you come to my house, there are trees there. If you go to my home in Ugenya, there are trees. When I was in Kisumu, I planted some trees in my brother's compound where he's a parish priest in Ramba. So I'm trying to say is that this is I live. So tell me, anyone who wants to run for president, who has got Jesuit education, the best in the world. I did my PhD in the 4th best business school in the world. So professorship is not given from any university that you hear about, isn't it? The 4th best in the world. I did my formation with Mahel missionaries. I was modeled by Opus Dei. I'm St. Francis inspired. And lately, the beautiful thing I'm talking about these days was called the text called Dilexite. Dilexite is the apostolic exhortation for the love of the poor, encyclical written by the Holy Father, Pope Leo, which says that in everything you do, my brother, do it for the love of the poor. When you steal money like these people, are you making the world better or worse off? When you live with people, do you care about the poor? When you live in a 740 acres, do you love the poor? The Pope, who is the richest, the Vatican is not even that much. The Vatican is very small, but the single richest institution in the world. So the Pope is simply saying, do something for the poor. And he says that our poverty is structural because of the political system, the economic system, and also says the religious system. And that's why the Pope is saying, even the church needs reform within itself to be good, best fit for the world. And I think that's what I'm trying to say. It's a deep conviction. It's based on what I've experienced. And when I grew up, I was born in a parish, in a mission parish, where we were living in a compound with priests. How would you not be infected? You cannot be swimming in the blood of Jesus and you don't look like Jesus. I don't think so. I'm not saying I look like, I'm saying that it's infectious. The religion in me is infectious. But I believe that, pray for me that I keep towing the teachings of Christ. And do you know my strongest value? Follow me as I follow Christ, and I will follow you as you follow Christ. And we leave Christ, I tend to leave you. And that's why I told you we had some ideological differences with Baba, but it was love because Baba knew it was not personal. It was love that a father can love a son, and a son can love a father, but so much so that the son can correct the father, isn't it? And the father can correct the son. This thing didn't begin with us. Did you hear Abraham correcting God about the Sodom? don't destroy God if there are 100. What if there are 50? This discussion was there, isn't it?
Yes, true.
But even Jesus told Peter, get behind me, Satan. But at the same time, Jesus handed over the keys of heaven to Simon Peter. Let's not see this as personal. These are just ideological differences. But if we all think the same, then one person is not thinking.
You see, that sums up the whole person who Professor is. And it can actually be seen. Your religious formation has brought your convictions, which I believe are transformative. People think they are controversial, but they are transformative. And we cannot finish this sit down without me asking your opinion on the activities of this week. You see, the Constitution describes the presidency in a certain way that is a symbol of unity. But this week we've seen very disturbing scenarios of name calling within political leadership. Do you think it is warranted?
Yeah, you know, the most unfortunate thing about this is that, and that's why we're joining politics to transform it, is that it shows the quality of those who are in the political space. I was talking to one bishop yesterday, and he told me that the quality of the people in that office, and I gave an example. Let me ask you. Suppose Baba was alive and Baba was the real opponent of Ruto. Do you think this could have happened? Do you think Baba could have gone to start answering him?
Baba was an enigma. People.
So I'm saying with the exit of Baba, the quality of the political class has fallen. And I was telling you, could you imagine a parliament where Raila was an MP, Wamana was sitting there? Could you just imagine that parliament? Can you compare with this parliament? Why we have wash people? That's why Gen Z say...
Mheshimiwa Kibagedi made allegations that the parliament has been captured. He was sent away by the speaker.
But that's true. Even if you send Kibagedi, there's other Kibagedi who will say it. You know, these people think that you can kill an idea by chasing someone away. When Jesus died, he became more powerful. You get my point? Osama is gone. Osama bin Laden. But how has the world changed?
We still have terrorism.
Now Ayatollah has gone, but is Iran not shooting? So I'm sorry that I don't have this myopic thinking that you can kill an idea just by eliminating people. How many people have been killed in Kenya fighting democracy? Has it ended? Ahmed Kodek died. J.M. Karuchi died. Robert Ouko died. Opandes, they died, isn't it? Have liberation ended? Raila Odinga is gone. The whole enigma. But are you seeing so many rivals in people? So these people just need to do this. And I'll tell you, when I was in New York, a journalist asked me one of the toughest questions of my life because I was being asked in the middle of so many Americans, and I couldn't know how many of them could be gay or lesbian. So they asked me, Fred, do you believe that being gay is bad? And what will you do when you become president in Kenya to the gay people? And that was a very difficult question. And I said that according to me, I respect the gay people. And why I said this is that, you know, I told them there are so many ways to live your life. And life itself is already very difficult. You know that? It's life easy. Life is very difficult, isn't it? But now, if life is already difficult, why do you choose to live your life in the most difficult way? Like, it's natural to marry a woman, isn't it? And that is also hard. Can you imagine a husband and a wife are struggling whether they can have sexual attraction? Have you not heard people saying that, for me, I don't feel like... Have you heard those things? If a man and a woman says they don't feel like each other, how hard it is for... How hard is it for a man to feel a man when they live together? You get my point?
But you might have probably disappointed quite a number of the people you are addressing because that is a right answer.
I'm saying that the answer to that question is that I respect them because there are people who have decided to live their life in the hardest way you can ever do. So come back home. These are political class know that life is hard, but there are options to live your life. But they have chosen the most difficult paths, insulting each other. When a father stands on top of the car and speaks like a nursery school, isn't it? And the other nursery school speaks like the primary preschool. Then another answer comes like they're in baby class and playgroup. So you look at it and say that how low has our political class gone down? So according to me, don't care about these things of if these people decide to do the right thing. Do you know how easy it is to do the right thing? Have I been asked by your mother when you are on the right side of the law, you will say quickly, isn't it? Where are you? I'm here. But you saw the story in the Bible where Adam and Eve asked, where are you? They didn't say where they were, they said they are naked. Why were they saying they are naked? They were not being asked whether they were having clothes or not. You get me? So when you're doing the wrong thing, you complicate your life. Do you know why? Since I began my political talks in 2021, I don't struggle because I just speak what I know. I just speak what I believe, isn't it? And if you ask me tomorrow, there's no contradiction. It's just me. And I like this lady called Lady Gaga. You know Lady Gaga? There's a song she sang, I was born this way, baby. So I'm this way. You might like me. You might not like me. I'm not gold. I'm not Kenya shillings to be loved by everybody. But you know what? I live my life as I believe. I may not succeed or I may fail, but at least I live as I believe. If you want to change me, change what I believe on. If you give me a new thing to believe in, I'll actually change very easily. So for me, these people do not know that when you are a president, you run the executive. Stick to your lane. Don't interfere with parliament. Don't call the speaker to throw away Kibagendi. That's how you work. Let the judiciary be judiciary. And lastly, when you kill opposition, you kill yourself. Have you seen what happened with the CAF? Where the team was playing.
A very embarrassing scenario.
Then another team walked out. The other team was playing alone. Did they enjoy that game? A game only continues going on well when the opponent is playing. You get me? How do you play a game alone then say you have scored? Even if you lift the cup, how do you feel? I mean, come on, you get me? So according to me, I'll be happy if the game was competitive like the Arsenal Man City game on Sunday. Until the last minute, then someone lift the trophy. Some of us.
But the trend in Africa is people, incubants. We've created a scenario where incubants want an election when there's no contest. It happened in Tanzania last year.
But you see what's happening? Those are weak people. You are a very renowned journalist, isn't it? You are in a class. You compete with people. Did you want to have idiots to compete with? Why do people want to go to the best schools and they don't want competition? Why was it important for me to look for how to go to St. Mary's Yala, where out of the 200 people, the last person has like 498 marks out of 700? The last. Why don't you go to another school where the highest has 200 and win? So, you know,
you became the brightest fool.
Yes, an economy is built when the best and brightest are in leadership. So if they allow the best and brightest to emerge, then you can build an economy. If ODM allowed the best and brightest people to thrive in ODM, there could be a lot of let's say, progress in the same country. If people in parliament, we elect the best and brightest, and we allow the best and brightest to express themselves, and suppress the brightest, and allow idiots to speak, it's not parliament anymore. Being a member of parliament is not a mean calling, because some people represent 100,000 people. Some people represent 60,000 people. Do you know some people don't even represent their own family well? Yet they want to represent 100,000 people. So a member of parliament is a special calling. And God will ask you, did you mislead my sheep? And that's why Jesus asked Simon, Simon, son of Peter, do you love me? I love you, Lord. Feed my sheep. Take care of my sheep. So what are God going to ask these people? Tell me.
Professor,
Yes.
thank you very much.
Welcome, my brother.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
Viewers, that was Professor. Controversial? Transformative? Let's wait and see. He says he's ready to transform this country through LDP. Good luck.
Thank you, my brother.
Thanks, viewers. We will see you into the next show.